Win column. It's the Texans going up against the Dolphins. With that, we'll send it over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Unlike any other in sport, as both teams made their way out of the tunnel, these folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Houston Texans and the Miami Dolphins. The Texans, it's been all systems go in this first month. They're off to a 4-0 start.
And it's got folks believing that this is a team that's built to go all the way. You can't win the Super Bowl in September, but they're telling everyone that they're going to be there in the end.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. They're led out by their strong arm.
A lot of times when he's in the pocket looking downfield, he's actually running the routes with the receivers as he remembers them.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 18 big yards on that one, and a Miami first. That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the second and the third levels. You know, get to linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards, and it'll be second and very short. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched him more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early. We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
Now, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. It's a foot race. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. All told, it's an even 30 and a first down.
Well, partner, that's one of the problems when you sell out to stop the run on third and short. Sometimes you break the initial wall and you go a long way.
So how do you prevent it?
That's tough to do. That really is tough to do. One of the things offenses like to do nowadays in practice, you know, they do a lot of working against equal numbers. They'll start putting more and more numbers on defense and just telling the offensive guys, figure it out, learn how to block it. We may see this situation. So the myth has been shattered. Every cornerback in the league is not just a cover corner. Some of them will stick their nose in there and make plays exactly as we just saw there. A big loss suffered by the offense after that nice tackle.
And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. 18 yards there, and it'll be a first and goal.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice,
and no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Zach Cunningham not dropping into coverage. He comes on the blitz and takes him down for a loss of 9. I know some of the talk after last week's loss was the O-line struggles. They gave up 4 sacks. He got hit here and taken down again, so that's something. And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. Kenny Stills, his first touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins take it right down and score on the opening drive.
In both locker rooms, the coaches talked about setting the tone early. Didn't matter whether you start on offense or defense. In this case, the team that had the ball first did exactly that. Took it right downfield and scored.
This one taken just inside the 10. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. They give them a gain of 37.
Now that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. And Ndamukong Suh breaking through to get him for a loss of 7. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. That one good for 10 yards. And that's going to bring up a third down.
It seemed like the situation was second and a mile to go for a first down, which screams what? Throw the football. You got to pass in order to try and pick up that kind of yardage. But in this case, they ran a tendency breaker because the tendency is for defenses to be out there and be set up for a pass. So you break tendency and actually run the football. That changes everything because if you're able to find a crease, you often have bigger guys working against smaller guys downfield. They picked up excellent yards.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going in quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he'll get this down only to the 18. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
Escaping the pressure right. All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's 3rd down.
And we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But, you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
Here's Watson. Oh, it's a touchdown if he holds on. Instead, it's 4th down.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. They came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
And his kick here is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So the drive stalls out, but they are able to put 3 points on the board.
Yeah, just a yard or two shorter than an extra point. So no problems converting there.
Here's Jarvis Landry now on the return. And he'll be knocked down sideways. Out comes the Dolphin offense now as they get set to take over here. They had the touchdown on the opening drive of the ball game. It was countered by just a field goal. So, hey, if your guys can do that for 4 quarters, you're in good shape.
Yeah, it is a team game, so that's just good complementary football. But, you know, I know I'm no brainiac, but you trade 6s for 3s, things are going to work out in your favor.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
Tannehill now on the option left. And maybe the wrong read there as he's going to go down immediately. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
I don't think there's any doubt that if it's me, I'd be really cautious about continuing to call this play because you got to know, defenders, if they get a free shot at the QB, they want to take it, and they want to take it big.
And they got it there on the option. Under pressure, and he's going to go down. Tannehill sacked. Whitney merciless. In there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that'll lead to a 4th down. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it. The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after the defense. All the gaps were filled.
The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Charles Harris able to drop him for a loss of 2, and that'll bring up 4th down. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. The Texans send the punter out. The dangerous Jarvis Landry back for Miami. Now Landry. It's a 42-yard punt. They keep him to just a yard on the return. And it'll be Dolphin football. first down. Tannehill finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and it'll be a second down. Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys on plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive, it just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an era in the game where the quarterbacks are the most athletically gifted that we've seen in a bunch. I mean, when you talk about collectively, it's unbelievable. So their ability to move is practiced now. It's not necessarily, oh, he just took off and you guys figure it out. When he takes off, everyone knows where to go now. They know how to run routes, change things, make themselves presentable for the quarterback. It's a lot of time that they put in on it. It's not just your static 1, 2, 3. This is where the ball goes anymore.
No gain on the play there. Second down. So nothing there. I don't know that that's all in the back, though. You got to look at blocking there, don't you?
I would agree with that totally. At some point, they have to win at the point of attack. Instead, it was the defense getting it done again and holding them to no gain.
This is caught at the 8. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Well, they've been practicing goal line offense all week. Let's see if they're able to capitalize here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. On second down, here's Tannehill. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up third down.
Those throwing windows get a lot tighter near the end zone, don't they? And here's the thing. You already probably have 3 points in your hip pocket. You force a throw here and give up an interception, you come away with nothing.
Especially tough in the middle third of the field where he threw that one. And probably the wise decision there. No one open. He just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's fourth down. Will put this one through, and they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. So the drive takes them inside the 10, but it ends with just 3.
And a nice job defensively to rise up and make sure they didn't get in.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. Comes a Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game.
And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Houston. Will Fuller, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Texans are an extra point away from tying this football game. And a little time left on the clock, so on the other side, they're thinking, gosh, we'd like to get that lead right back.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Here I am going ahead and tapping out the first half.
Well,
there's still time. They've got to make a decision about what they want to do on the kickoff, where they want to let their return guy touch it.
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. A first update now out of Jacksonville. It's the Chargers out to an early lead. I have a feeling that one's going to stay tight throughout. We'll continue to monitor. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. Now a handoff looking right. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. Now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And he'll give it here to his running back. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. The Dolphins will send out the punter now. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. He gets this one away, and boy, it's play in the second quarter. The final shot before the break. Watson. He's letting this one go for Fuller. And that's caught inside the 30. And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done?
So they grabbed the lead just before half with a clock reading 0-0-0.
How about snatching things right at the end and grabbing a little bit of control? What a great...
And before we could even hear from Larry, we're back and ready to go in Week 5. Around the NFL, we've got a second quarter score. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. And we'll keep you abreast of how that one shakes out. And let's shift our attention to Will Fuller. A monster game so far, third quarter. He is lighting up the stat sheet.
And so many times.
And a loose football. And the Dolphins have got it. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They were forced last time. Now, I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot. Great opportunity to run your full playbook. If they want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
A Miami first down. That one going for a gain of 11.
So much for him being bottled up throughout the day. Finally finds a way to break through and get a really nice gain. The defense had felt great about what they had going. Now they've got to turn their attention to getting it back in that direction. Can they bottle him up again?
And they're going to get him. They bring him down to the sack back at the 16-yard line. And it's never good to take a sack. You really don't want to take one down here in this part of the field, down near the red zone.
Not at all, because you're already pretty much assured of a field goal. If you take a big sack, it could push you out of range, and that's why defenses get a little more aggressive in this situation. They're almost conceding the 3 points. They want to push you back and try and take you out of that.
Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but yeah, from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long. In their mind, certainly a field goal try would be a letdown. They had the great starting field position. Now facing 3rd down. Throwing on 3rd down, Tannehill. That's caught. It's Thomas. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. They do get 12, but they'll be marked short. And that leads to a 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job here of limiting that and keeping him from the first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. A decent drive there to start the 3rd quarter. They only salvaged 3 out of it, but they do inch a bit closer.
Yeah, still lots of time to go in this one. Take the points, move on, and let your defense try to get the ball back.
And now out comes Houston. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You've got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football, Doesn't make them very happy. They can't wait to get back out there and atone for it.
Yeah, try to atone for it here on this drive. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A big hitter there, a first down gain of 26 yards.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Hasn't had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
So there on that play, offensively, they ran the crossing route. Defense was in zone coverage, so as a former DB, how tough is it to defend that?
It's really difficult.
And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Texans will extend their lead.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Dolphins offense now ready to go back out onto the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Possible run anticipation. Here's the D-line sandwiches together. Off play action, Tannehill. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. Whitney Merciless in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. That's number 4. Sack number 4. They had 4 last week, so he's been down on the ground a lot.
Partner, they say the eye in the sky does not lie. And that's indeed the case because they watched the game tape from the previous week, incorporated into their own deep.
Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Jadeveon Clowney in there to drop him, and back-to-back sacks now bring up 4th and long.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Taken in at the 22. Good move at the 30. They'll be hard-pressed to match that one. That a 65-yard punt. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. And now out comes Houston. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, it's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
I think there's one element that just keeps increasing on defense in the NFL, and that's speed. They want it in every position, and we just saw there some linebackers who can go sideline to sideline.
Back now in Miami. It's the Texans in control of the football and leading this game as well as we start the 4th. The Texans on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12.
Here we go. 1, 9.
Out of the gun, Watson. Flushed out right. A bullet throw, but incomplete. Well, not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. Landry now on the return. And a big collision there as he winds up flat on his back. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Shift together here from the D-line. On 1st down, it's Tannehill. It's caught. Stills right side. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 17 yards for the Dolphins there as they've got themselves a first down. Decent start to the drive there. Of course, they need the touchdown, 2-point conversion, and a field goal.
Yeah, those guys are into it. How about the guys on the sidelines? You see the coaches signaling, all the personnel groups up on the sideline, ready to go in and out of the game. They've got to condense their time now in order to try and get back into it. 7
yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game. Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 44 and to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games, and now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. He gets them a little over half of what they needed. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 5. And in this situation with a lead fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
It's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6.
And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Texans turn that interception into a touchdown. So they went to the ground game on 3rd, hoping to pick up the 1st. And they also picked up a touchdown.
Offensive linemen so used in this situation to having to pass block. All right, you're looking at what it is, 3rd down. They don't care that it's 3rd and whatever. They figure they're going to throw the ball. And when you call running play, I think you energize them. I think you juice them up because I haven't been an offensive lineman yet that likes to pass block more than they like to run block. And they opened up some nice holes there for him, and he took it to the house.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive? Or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep it
under pressure, and he's going to go down. Tannehill sacked. Zach Cunningham in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. Time for a break. We're back to finish this one off after this. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Here's Tannehill now on 2nd down. Throws a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. And he takes this one just shy of midfield all the way to the 49. A good pickup there, a 22. Tannehill on 1st down. And his throw is incomplete. The tight end, Julius Thomas, the intended target. And now it's 2nd down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. And a stoppage here, a timeout before this 3rd down play takes place. As they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. Tannehill throwing again. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
Desperation time for Tannehill on 4th down. And he comes back with one complete. And he's going to go out of bounds, taking it down inside the 25. 22 yards on the pickup there. And it's 1st down, Miami. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
Now a loose football. The ball comes out. And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the 4th quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
So, Brandon, when this offense gathers together to watch tape for this game, they're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves until the coaches get upset about the play we just saw. But you know their defense is going to be. But we put up big points all game long. The defense is going to win one every now and then.
8 yards on the run, and that cuts us down to a 3rd and about 5.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
The Texans on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. Now they'll run it on the toss. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. A tale of two extremes. First carry, he went for a bundle. His second goes backward.
And how many times have we seen that happen? Because you get that big carry, and you come back, and you're all fired up, and sometimes you force a run a little bit, right? Trying to break off that big carry again, and instead, it works opposite.
A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this.
Meanwhile, for the Dolphins, they'll fall to 1-4 with a loss. And perhaps fortunately for them, they'll get an early bye next week and come back to action in Week 7. So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. And with that, we sign off from Miami.